today on Divorce Court.
I'm here today because me and Mallory have been having a lot of issues in our relationship. At some point, we were seeing a therapist, and we stopped going.
My husband has a really bad drinking problem.
I feel like a lot of her things that she's complaining about is very small, and it leads to a lot of arguments.
I told David if he doesn't stop, I'm done. And he pretty much just told me, that's fine, that's cool, go ahead.
Divorce Court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Mallory Chavez and David Chavez. Mr. and Mrs. Chavez, you have been married for 2 years. You are concerned that your marriage will not survive and have come to me for my advice. You have 2 children together, and each of you have, I believe, has a child by another relationship. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
Mrs. Chavez, tell me, what is the problem?
Well, my husband has a relationship with something else, his alcohol. And it's hard sometimes. He'd rather be out drinking than with me or the kids.
Tell me some stories that would lead me to believe that alcohol is, in fact, a problem in your marriage.
All his money will go to that. He will be out and then forget to do things, you know, important things, because he was out drinking and forgot.
You got to give me something concrete. You got to say he forgot to pick up the kids, he did that, whatever it was. Tell me something.
Well, actually, when my son was born, he actually went out to drink and didn't come back for hours.
I just made that up. Give me some other examples. Does he drink every night?
Every night.
And how much does he drink?
There's no number. He just will keep
Does
going.
he drink beer? Does he drink hard liquor?
Everything.
He drinks everything. Mr. Chavez, she says that you drink a lot. Do you?
I feel like I don't, and even when I do drink, I'm responsible about it. I go to work in the morning. I never miss work. I do take care of the kids. I do help her out.
Got any DUIs?
I do have 1 DUI.
So that's not drinking and being responsible, is it?
No, we went out together. I took her out, and
I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about that. I want you to tell me how much you drink in a given evening.
on a given evening, if I know I got to go to work, I'll probably have like 3 or 4
3 or 4 what?
beers.
3 or 4 beers. Ms. Is that an accurate recitation?
No.
Can
Not even
you
close.
tell me anything, any instances that stand out for you that occur because of his drinking?
He'll get into fights with random strangers because he
Give me an
thinks-
example.
he went to a sports bar and he saw some guy staring at him the whole night. So he went to fight him, and his friends jumped in, and he got beat up. And then the cops came, and instead of arresting the other guys, they arrested him because he had a warrant for his DUI.
That's a lie.
Anything else?
For Christmas, he was out drinking, and he got arrested again, and he missed Christmas because he was in jail.
Arrested for what?
Same thing for
Fighting? Are you an angry drunk?
The fights, I got into an altercation with somebody at a bar that I went to, and the whole situation just escalated. I didn't do anything to the person. I was by myself.
How many times you been arrested in the last 5 years?
2 or 3 times.
How many times has he been arrested in the last 5 years, would you say?
Yeah, about that many times.
About 2 or 3 times.
But before that, he's been in and out of jail his whole life.
Mr. Chavez, why do you think this marriage is running off the rails?
She doesn't help me. She's controlling. She's constantly nagging.
Give me an example of her controlling behavior.
I mean, her controlling behavior can be anything, like even eating. When we go to eat somewhere, if she doesn't want it, we're not going to have it. And she will just make a big issue about it.
Like if you don't want to go to the same restaurant she wants to go to, she makes a big issue of it?
Yeah, she will make a big issue about it. We'll start arguing. And then it gets to a point to say, we'll just go home. Or, you know what, that's it. I don't want to eat no more. You go figure something. And she's even left me in the middle of streets at times when that's happened.
Well, tell me about that. Tell me about the time she left you in the middle of the street.
Well, I can tell you about a time where it wasn't even in the street. It was actually another state where she left me.
Well, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Okay, well, it was my birthday and also some of her family's birthday, and she wanted to plan for us to go to Vegas. And during that trip, the only thing that I wanted to do was just see a friend that I haven't seen in years. And she agreed to it, but the whole time that we were there, we were pretty much just arguing, and we were doing everything that her family wanted to do. So when it came time to me to hang out with my friend, we didn't. It caused an argument. I did get upset, and I said, you know, it's my birthday. Can I at least do one thing I'd like to do? And she told me, no, I'm not going to do this. If you don't like it, get out of here. Matter of fact, get your stuff. Don't even stay in the room anymore. And I ended up having to take a Greyhound home the next day.
Did you leave him in another state?
No, I'm not going to lie. I did that, but it was much more than that. It wasn't just that. He got drunk and started verbally abusing me. So I told him, I'm not going to have that, especially when my family's around.
Were you imbibing at the time this incident occurred?
I think we were all drinking. It was Vegas, but I mean, as far as that situation, I wasn't.
You
doing
say that
anything.
he drinks up all of your bill money. Tell me what happens.
Well, the only bill that David pays for is his part of the rent. He doesn't pay anything else. So at times, I've checked his account. He has hundreds of dollars in his account, but he won't buy our son diapers or anything.
How about utilities,
Yeah, no,
car,
he needs-
insurance,
he needs
anything like that?
He needs all that
Yeah.
for his DJing, but won't put money
Mr.
for it.
Chavez, she claims you only pay half of one bill, and she's distraught by it. She thinks you're using the money to buy alcohol. Why don't you tell me what you believe is going on?
What I know is going on is that I've helped with the bills. I've helped with utilities. There's even been a situation to where I was giving her money for utilities, and we moved into a new apartment, and all of a sudden I wake up the next morning and I'm going to go turn on the lights, and there's no power. So when I asked her what happened, where was the money, she said she didn't pay it. She had her car payment to pay or something else. So I even pawned my other DJ equipment just to help out the situation because we didn't have money at the time. And she told me she would even help me get that out. And to this day, it's still in there.
Yeah. Your phrasing, I help with the bills. She don't want help. She wants a husband.
Right.
You know? Now, how often do you have sex?
I'm lucky if I get it maybe 3 times a year.
Ms. Chavez, is he accurate that, you know, that sex is almost non-existent at your house? And if so, why?
We already have 2 kids together. I do my part.
So, Mr. Chavez, why don't you tell me what happened when you had to pawn your wedding ring?
Well, it's for that same bill, the electricity bill. So he pawned his DJ equipment and I pawned my rings. But never have I ever even asked him, get them out, get them out. I expected to do it on my own when I could. So I even told him, I'll give you half for the DJ equipment because it's expensive. It is, I'm not going to lie. But I shouldn't have to pay for my own rings to get out plus his equipment when it's a team effort.
But, Mr. Chavez, she says in her papers that alcohol infuses everything that happens with respect to you. She hasn't told me that here. I haven't, and I don't know if she's not bringing up the stories or simply that's not the case. So I'm just going to ask you, if you had a son who was like your age and he was drinking as much as you and drinking caused whatever events happening in your life that were in his life, would you be comfortable?
I wouldn't be concerned because I know the way I drink is not the way it's being portrayed right now.
Okay, so you don't think you have a drinking problem at all?
No.
Okay. You seem committed to that position, but you've been with him for a while. I don't hear a lot of stories about it. Is there something you want to tell me? Because what you're saying doesn't meet what I was reading here.
Yeah. Well, when we first got together, he didn't drink. And I actually did because I had just turned 21. So I was drinking a lot more than he was because the doctor told him he couldn't because his liver was really bad. He was drinking so much that his liver was giving out on him.
Did your doctor warn you that your liver could not take any more alcohol?
No, I got into a situation where I did drink a lot that night, and I was just throwing up. I was throwing up one time, and I went to the doctors, and they said it was a little high that day when I went to see
alcohol, what was a little high?
my liver.
The enzymes coming from your liver were causing, it's probably not just a one-day thing. You know what I mean? When your liver starts screaming, it's just not because of one night.
Right.
You imagine it would be a little more than that, right?
Right. But at the time, I wasn't even drinking that much, but I was going overboard when I was drinking when I was younger.
Okay. You say that there's no sex.
Oh my God.
None, Your Honor.
Tell me what's not going on generally.
Well, I mean, when we first met, I was pretty honest with her. I told her about all my situations and stuff, and I felt like we kind of hit it off pretty good. And when it came to that, we could stop in public, we can be somewhere.
You having sex all the time?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how often do you have sex?
I'm lucky if I get it maybe 3 times a year.
Ms. Chavez, is he accurate that, that sex is almost non-existent at your house? And if so, why?
We already have 2 kids together. I do my part, but I'm not going to go above and beyond for him when he'll stay out and not come home or not, like I said, not help with the bills. Like, I need somebody that's physically there, like he's going to be there whenever I need him, not, oh, I just need you right now for 30 seconds.
I think you feel like the money is all on you, and he's always drinking, and it's always a problem, and you're scared, you don't feel supported and cared for. You feel like you support and care for him.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I think, based on what you wrote.
Exactly.
Did you hear what she thinks?
I hear what she thinks, but just like everything, she lies all the time.
Do you think David has a serious drinking problem? Tell us what you think at facebook.com/Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. If you would like your case to be heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Divorce Court. So, Mrs. Chavez, why do you believe Mr. Chavez is cheating?
Because I've seen it in his phone.
Tell me what you've seen.
I found text messages from his ex.
What did they say?
One of them, I think she picked him up from work one day, and then he was saying some things that he doesn't say to me, like, come here, let me give you a massage, and let me do this and that.
So were you sending suggestive text messages to an ex?
No. As far as the situation where she said about picking me up, I have kids with her as well. And the thing is that she doesn't understand it in another way that she's controlling. She met with me because my daughter just started school, so she needed papers that I needed to sign. Right. For, responsibility reasons. And anything that has to do with that, with me talking to my ex, is an issue with her. Even if I'm just trying to make a good relationship between me and her for the kids.
You do understand that he has to stay in contact with someone who has his child. You understand that, right?
That, but they don't need to be doing massage and whatnot. I have
You're
messages.
not offering the massager, are you?
No. There's been a situation to where she's called me about my son and just says, hey, I'm starting to have problems with him in school or homework. So if the conversation goes a little bit more than a minute and she knows that I'm talking to her, she'll be in the background telling me, hang up, you need to hang up. And then when I do hang up, she goes, so what took you so long? Why were you talking that long on the phone with her? Why can't you just talk to him when you see him?
Okay.
Well, Judge, I actually have evidence, so.
Oh, well, let me see it. And while I'm looking at this evidence, Mr. Chavez, why don't you tell me why you think this marriage is off the rails? You don't think it's your drinking. You say you're not cheating. And you say she's controlling. Is the control issue the sole issue for you, and the sex the sole issue for you?
No, I've done my part, and the thing is that she gets help all the time, whether it's from her family members or friends, and even with the money situation, I do help. The thing is that I try to use my money for things that we need, and she'll try to use it just because she doesn't want to cook or she wants to eat out, or if you see her nails, those are changing every single week, and that's like $80 to $100.
These text messages are somewhat suggestive. I mean, there is a massage text in there. I'm staring into a vacuum, and I don't know why. It's as if you two aren't in the same room at all. usually people come in with two sides to an issue. You don't even have the same issue. It's like, and I can't figure out who's telling me the truth because, you know, you can't tell me many stories, and the stories you tell me are so long and circuitous and all this, that, and the other. So I really don't know what I'm dealing with here. I don't know why your marriage is ending. And I don't think you know why your marriage is ending. I think you know why you want to go. I think you feel insecure. I think you feel like the money is all on you, and he's always drinking, and it's always a problem, and you're scared, you don't feel supported and cared for. Mm-hmm. You feel like you support and care for him. Oh, that's what I think, exactly. Based on what you wrote.
Exactly.
Did you hear what she thinks?
I hear what she thinks, but just like everything, she lies all the time, and she makes up a story, and it's just to get attention off herself. Even right now, her cell phone bill, she hasn't paid that thing in months, and she wanted a new phone, and I pay for it. You know, I do help her with a lot of things, and I just feel like I don't get credit for it half the time.
Okay. Are you a 50-50 participant economically in the household?
I am. I feel like I'm more than that.
What is to blame for Mallory and David's failing marriage? Share your opinion on Twitter and Instagram at Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. You want to stay married, Mr. Chavez?
I do to some certain extent.
Yeah. If I could wave a magic wand and fix one thing about Mrs. Chavez to make this marriage salvageable, what would you ask me to do?
I would ask you just for her to even have a little bit more respect.
More respect?
Yes.
Mrs. Chavez, if I could wave a magic wand, I would imagine you would tell me that your wish would be that he drink less. Is that accurate?
Yeah,
drink less and contribute.
If he doesn't have to drink at all, we'll be happy. It's just everything. We're losing everything because he drinks just too much. It's ridiculous. Everybody that knows David knows him because he drinks. Are you known as a drinker in your community?
I've known to have a couple.
Yeah. So you do know. See, you smiled when you said that. So you do know. And here's what I'm going to say to you, Mr. Chavez. I think you do drink a lot, and I think that's why she's upset. I think she feels insecure, and when women often get insecure, they get loud and mouthy because they're frightened, and fear comes out as anger. And you didn't acknowledge anything she said in here, not her pain, not what she was seeing, or not what she was doing. But when I asked you if the community saw you as a drinker, you smiled. You see what I mean? You dismiss her completely, but you know there's a drinking thing going on because everybody at home knows you as a drinker. See what I'm saying? She's worth not having beers with the buddies for 2 weeks. Now, go home and give me that. And if you can't, ask yourself, what does that mean about my relationship with alcohol?
Right.
That's what I would ask of you. I wish you both luck. I can't really help you other than ask him to see that because I really didn't get a clear vision of what was going on. And I do think that's clearly your issue with him is his drinking, and I think you probably minimize it. And I would, you know, I don't know. You got to look, see what you find. All right? 2 weeks. See if you can do it. I know you can't do it. You're going to drink tonight, aren't you?
Probably.
Yeah, see there? You got an issue with alcohol. Don't do it to your kids. Don't do it to your kids. This matter's adjourned.
I honestly don't think there's hope for David. I think that until he's ready, he's just going to ruin everything that's around him. If he just keeps drinking, I'm done. I'm leaving.
The judge gave me a challenge to quit drinking for 2 weeks. I feel like the only way that I can fail is if Mallory and me have a situation and she causes me to leave the house and to drink.